Hello, Anime VISOR here.
And SiGNUM.
At the time of recording, Lupin III Part 6 is currently airing. I do plan to have a proper review for it after it finishes airing, but I wanted to specifically discuss Episode 0 from Part 6. It's very much a standalone episode compared to the rest of Part 6, but also serves as a fitting farewell to one of the most iconic voices in anime. But before we get started, here's a quick word from our sponsor. Bored of pizza? Looking to step up your pizza eating experience? Then come aboard Rebecca's Floating Pizzeria, where all the pizza is handcrafted on a boat, which somehow maybe makes it taste better. With the freshest pepperoni they can find, the oldest aged cheese, delicious tomato-based pizza sauce, all on top of Rebecca's Floating Pizzeria's patented saltwater-infused pizza dough, every bite will make you question why you didn't set sail on Rebecca's Floating Pizzeria sooner. Rebecca's Floating Pizzeria, home of the boat-style pizza. Titled Episode 0, The Times, the episode focuses on Daisuke Jigen. With AI drones, plastic guns, and new gadgets, Jigen realizes that times have changed, but he isn't sure if he can change with them. Is it finally time to call it quits on his life of crime? This episode does a good job of showing the conflict that Jigen is having, the realization that he may not be able to adapt and keep up with all the latest technology, and the way of the world. What I enjoyed about this episode was Jigen reflecting on everything and having a little moment with everyone, and there's sort of a theme with each of them as well. Him at the bar with Zenigata, the criminal, and the policeman. Having a drink with Goemon, where Goemon attempts to figure out what Jigen plans to do. The swordsman and the gunslinger. Fujiko and Jigen out on the patio talking about relationships. Lupin's lover and Lupin's best friend. Then of course, Lupin and Jigen. There's one man crazy enough to stay by Lupin's side all this time. Goemon has his training, and Fujiko is Fujiko, so they come and go at times. But Jigen is constantly at Lupin's side.
Except for in Goodbye Partner.
Oh yeah, that happened. That's not meant as a slight against that particular Lupin entry, I just don't remember much before 2020.
Who does?
Getting back to Episode 0, Lupin himself admits that Jigen is the most stable thing in his life. Lupin gallivants around the world, but he's always had Jigen by his side through thick and thin. It's a great friendship that has lasted many years, not just for the characters within the series, but also for us, the audience. For the last 50 years, audiences have been able to watch Lupin and Jigen get in and out of a lot of trouble.
They're as thick as thieves.
That is an apt way to define Lupin and Jigen's relationship. Thick as thieves. However, Episode 0 is more than just a story about Jigen. It also serves as homage to Jigen's Japanese voice actor, Kiyoshi Kobayashi, who voiced Daisuke Jigen for over 50 years before deciding to retire at the age of 88.
That's really impressive.
It really is, dating all the way back to the original pilot episode for Lupin III from 1969. While Jigen is probably his most well-known role, he also has quite the resume of live-action dubbing roles, being the Japanese dub voice in multiple films for James Coburn, Tommy Lee Jones, and Clint Eastwood. It's nice to see Kiyoshi Kobayashi getting a proper send-off, since he has literally been there from the beginning of the Lupin III anime. The only time he didn't play Jigen in the anime was in Lupin III, The Fuma Conspiracy, where due to budgetary reasons, none of the characters' usual, at the time voice actors, were present in that OVA. All the characters had a different voice actor in that one. Keeping with Kobayashi, it's not a surprise his retirement. I think if anyone's followed the sub version of Lupin III long enough, the last few years you could probably see, or well, hear in this case, that Kobayashi's voice wasn't what it once was. As old as Kiyoshi Kobayashi is, not even trying to perform as he did 30 years ago, but just trying to perform like he did a year, or maybe even a month ago, I'm sure is a tough fight, a losing battle to your younger self. But on the bright side, he was able to retire and can take a well-deserved bow on a legendary career. Lupin III won't quite be the same without Kiyoshi Kobayashi, but Lupin III has survived all this time through multiple voice actor changes. When Kanichi Kurita took over the voice role of Lupin after Yasuo Yamada passed away, when Daisuke Namikawa took over the role of Goemon from Makio Inoue, when Miyuki Sawashiro took over the role of Fujiko from Eiko Masuyama, when Koichi Yamadera took over the voice of Zenigata from Goro Naya, and now Kiyoshi Kobayashi passes the torch to Akio Otsuka as the voice of Jigen. Assuming they keep making Lupin III anime, then all the current voice actors will pass it on to someone else one day too. The circle of life.
Hakuna Matata.
No, that's just a problem-free philosophy, SiGNUM. Again, episode 0 is a standalone episode. If anything, since Lupin has a blue jacket, you can maybe think of it as an epilogue to part 5, but at the very least, it has no story or plot connecting to part 6. So just enjoy episode 0 for what it is. A really nice Jigen episode, and a great send-off for a legend of a voice actor. To start wrapping things up, what are your thoughts on episode 0 of Lupin III part 6? Let us know in the comments below. Again, I do plan to have a review for part 6 after it finishes airing, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that video when it comes out. And consider checking out the Patreon page, patreon.com/animevisor. If you become a patron, you'll get early access to videos before YouTube. With all that said, I've been AnimeVisor.
And I've been SiGNUM.
Thanks for watching, and see you later.
Bye bye.